Welcome back everyone to another video of World of Warship Legends. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Tier 7 Baltimore. This is another video in our series looking at the American heavy cruiser line. Some quick stats on the Baltimore. It has 3 turrets with 3 guns each. These are 203 caliber. Guns have a 17.1 kilometer range and 11.6 second reload time. The HE has a 14% fire chance, and then the AP has a max damage of 5,400 hit points. Now, this is a little unique. Similar to the New Orleans and Pensacola, the Baltimore has 203 caliber guns, but what makes it different is that it does have special AP shells that allow for increased penetration at higher angles. We're going to be taking a look today at a game of domination on northern waters. We're being started out just north of the sea cap. We get started out over here with a Udachi and a battleship on our backs. What we're going to be taking a look here is the correct methods, or at least one of the methods you can use when playing the Baltimore. It is rather fragile, especially if you're getting shot from the side. We want to make sure that we're avoiding showing broadside to enemies while also maximizing our damage output. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to sail as far to the east as we can. We want to get on the flank, kind of maximize the fire angles that we can get at the enemy ships. The Edinburgh does pop up, but he goes into smoke and disappears. He gets inside our detection area just for a second. Since he turned nose in, we switched to HE rounds. We want to try to at least get some damage. The Edinburgh does have some pretty solid bow armor. HE will be a little bit more effective on him from this angle. We see that the Iowa is also starting to come up this direction, so we're going to kite away slightly, just long enough to be unspotted and allow us to go ahead and continue on to the east. There, we're going to take a quick look. We're looking at what our spotted range is as well as our firing range. With this build, I am using Victor Einstein, and he has the twisting track, so that is showing us that there is a ship. We do believe it's right in the direction of the Edinburgh, so we're just going to keep an eye on that, see if there's anything else. One other unique thing about the Baltimore is the only American tech tree ship to be equipped with radar, and that's going to be quite a tool, especially when you're going up against destroyers. The radar will allow you to see through island smoke, anything, see where the enemy ships are located, and that's within a 9-kilometer radius of the ship. We see the Iowa, appears that he kind of ran aground there, so we're going to fire just a couple shots at him, see if we get lucky. He is behind the island, so we have a little bit of protection from him, but we are still spotted. Looking back towards the B cap, we see those 2 battleships there in the middle. They are within our spotting range. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the nose towards the Iowa and then try to get as close to this island just to our left here. Use it as some cover and kind of as a base of operations for us while we handle this first conflict. Aiming indicator is telling us there are 2 ships aiming at us. We haven't seen any shells come in yet. And then right here we see the torpedoes come around the island. That was 3 sets of torpedoes, and it was 3 torpedoes each. So that tells us it has to be a destroyer. We pop the radar and we see the Akatsuki sitting right behind the island. Unfortunately, we cannot shoot him where he's at right now. So we're going to go ahead, take a couple shots at the Edinburgh while we're here. Eventually, the destroyer does come out. We have a Udachi just to the north of sea that's helping us out. Those are his torpedoes you see moving from right to left there, and the shells. We did pop the Edinburgh once there for the Citadel. We're going to go ahead and start backing up now. We want to make sure that we keep this island between us and the Iowa that's also down there to the south. So we're going to try to take out the Akatsuki while we can here. Using the HE now, we did have AP loaded earlier for the Edinburgh. Just need to make sure that we're switching over to the best ammo depending on what target and what the angle of the target is that we're shooting at. We're keep firing. We did lose our other battleship support. Here at this point, I let myself get a little bit too forward of the island. We pay for it a little bit, taking 10,000 of damage. Fortunately, it wasn't a catastrophic hit. It looked like a lot of the Iowa shells might have over-penetrated. So we're going to kick it in reverse and then going to turn hard to the left. We just want to kind of wrap around this island. There we see more torpedoes, this time coming from the Edinburgh. But as we're retreating around the island, we see the Akatsuki once again pop up. Just kind of take the opportunity to take some more shots at him. Getting the destroyers off the board is key to victory. So here we want to make sure we don't back up too far. If we do, that I will have a great broadside shot at us, and that would send us back to port rather quickly. So we're going to go ahead and start to move away a little bit. The Edinburgh, we're keeping a close eye on him. He has spotted our Yudachi, is taking shots at him. We come around the corner, fire one salvo, get decent damage through his nose. Then we immediately turn hard right to point our stern right at the Edinburgh, just minimalizing the profile that he has to shoot at. Here he does make a mistake. I'm assuming trying to get torpedoes off. We're able to get another salvo of HE and finish off the kill. At this point, we have the Gneiss now and the Iowa. We are the only target on this side of the map that they can spot right now. So we need to get out of their range and kind of keep surviving at this point. Our Yudachi does move up. He's going to be in great position now to kind of send some torpedoes towards both of these ships. Here we're going to keep alternating right rudder, left rudder, just kind of swinging back and forth, getting the guns on target when we can, and then immediately making sure we're angling. The belt armor on the Baltimore does have the ability to bounce larger battleship shells, so if you are angled well, you can minimize the damage. Here the Iowa will take another shot. Fortunately, the rudder is enough for us to turn out of there. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and start turning hard left. The Gneiss now is behind the island, so he's not completely a threat to us anymore. We do have a second destroyer coming to see, helps cap. And now we have a little bit more breathing room to allow us to attack. Here we do see an enemy destroyer pop up. We need to go ahead and try to take him out if possible. So even though it's a lengthy shot, we're going to take a couple of HE shots at him. Again, kill the enemy destroyers as soon as possible. They are the invisible fighters that can really wreak havoc on enemy teams. He does go out of spotting range. We're going to go ahead and keep shooting at the Iowa. Again, going back and forth with the rudder. So taking a look at the game now. Our team has a sizable lead. We're up 9 ships to 3. Our team did overwhelm the ACAP. Kind of surprised we don't have it, but we did take out the whole side of that team while we were at it. So at this point, we just need to handle the Iowa and the 2 enemy destroyers that are left. The enemy destroyer isn't capping C, so we're not overly concerned about him. Our 2 other destroyers can kind of go out and hunt him. We're going to focus on this Iowa, trying to just deplete some of his health points, make it a little bit harder for him. At this point, he is starting to turn right into the cap. So we need to make sure that he's not going to take the cap back. As soon as he comes around the island, he is close enough to spot us, so we turn a little bit out of him. But we can tell he's not aiming at us based on the indicator. So we're just going to keep shooting and staying on this course until we do see that he's aiming at us. And then once he is, we will start moving. Again, he's just kind of aiming and then moving away. The Baltimore, like mini cruisers, the whole name of the game is positioning and making sure that you're keeping distance between yourself and the battleships. If you were to decide to go brawl with these battleships, you might be able to rack up some quick damage, but most likely you're going to be giving up your own health points in that time. So we're going to continue using this island now. We're no longer spotted, so we can sit here and kind of just keep shooting at the Iowa until he does spot us. Right here we do see it, so we're going to go ahead and hit the gas again, move up a little bit. HE, like I said, 14% fire chance. It's an okay strategy to be using with the Baltimore. Looking back in this video now, I probably should have been using AP at this time. It does have the ability to penetrate most of the superstructure and just rack in 3,000-4,000 point salvos fairly easily. So in hindsight, I would say definitely be using AP a little bit more. As the Iowa comes around the island here, we are still using HE. So far, though, we've only taken that 1 salvo early on from the Edinburgh when we went a little far past the island. Quick note on personal XP, you keep seeing that every time I'm hitting him with salvo, I'm getting defend ribbons. This is an easy way to score some XP, making sure that you're defending the caps that you already own. As well as about every other salvo, we've been able to notch another fire on him, slowly depleting his hit points. There you saw some shells fly overhead from our friendly battleships. At this point, the Iowa's just trying to survive as much as possible. The game's all but decided, so he's just going to begin kiting back towards the edge of the map, seeing what he can, kind of damage he can inflict before he goes down. Here, once he does turn broadside, we see I switch back to AP, and we're gonna finally get the high caliber metal here. A big part of that is just slowly bleeding down this Iowa. When we started this engagement with him, we were only at 30,000 hit points. There, we're going to just keep on raining the shells down on him, and eventually he will fall. When he goes down, we won't have 1,000 points, but it will take the enemy point value down to 0, which is an automatic loss. And overall, this was a phenomenal team effort. The two destroyers that were over here at sea did a great job spotting, taking out the enemy destroyers. Overall, I think the Baltimore is one of my favorite Tier 7 cruisers. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree, disagree with these tactics? Do you have some that you like to use your own? Leave them below in the comments. Hit like and subscribe. We'll have more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.